What's going on YouTube? Man, another wild day of uh, fruitless and um, just wasteful committee hearings, confirmation hearings. I mean, God, God, man, to watch that dog and pony show, and to think that people actually watch that shit and think it's what the country needs to get better. That's a scary thought, man. There's a very scary thought that that particular dog and pony show is what the majority of the voting population thinks is what's needed. And just as with Pete Hegseth yesterday, the same goes with Pam Bundy today. Not one question, and I dare anyone to change my mind on this, or even come with any substantial challenge to this. No question of substantial effect to the American people. None whatsoever. No question was asked of her today that gave us any indication of what she would do as the Attorney General and the decisions that she would make that would directly affect the American people. We absolutely have no idea. It's wild because the entire confirmation hearing was back and forth, ad hominems, talking points of conservative and liberal political speak. That's it. Just their bullet points, their talking points that they argue about with one another back and forth. But nothing of actual substance. Nothing. No actual question of anything that she would do that would protect the majority of Americans, not just a certain, in particular, sect of Americans. And see, and and I guess that would really be the issue or the answer to why so many people are for this type of thing and for this type of dog and pony show. Because again, I'm coming from a perspective of, okay, this is supposed to be about the American people. These confirmation hearings, we're supposed to find out what these people are going to be able to do for us and how they're going to behave and hold these positions in these offices. But we don't see that. We don't get to see that. But they're okay with it, or enough people are okay with it because, again, it fits their narrative. So all of the conservatives and the Republicans are okay with how these confirmation hearings are going because it's going in a way that fits their narrative, which their narrative has nothing to do with the majority of the population of Americans. It only has to do with the majority of the voting population, which just so happens to be them. And the majority of the voting population is not the majority of Americans. So, I mean, it just, it's a sad case. It's a very sad fucking thing. Um, that that's what we like, that those embarrassments. I mean, it's like kangaroo court, man. And those are the people deciding our future. Oh my God. Those are the people making the laws for us. Not one question of any substance that affects the majority of Americans, not just the majority of the people who voted for that particular regime. No. So, of course, you're okay with what you would call Pam Bundy wiping the floor with the Democrats. And again, just like I said yesterday with Pete Hegseth, of course he wiped the floor with the Democrats. They're a bunch of fucking idiots. But so are the Republicans. He didn't wipe the floor with the Republicans, but the Republicans asked him no questions of consequence. He had one question out of his whole 3-hour interview that I saw now, and I could be missing it, but from what I saw, or what I had to go back and see, because even in my first watch through, I missed the question. But there was only one question of the budget. Yesterday, when Pete Hegseth was giving his interview, out of 3 hours, I only saw one question of the budget. When the budget is the number one factor to directly affect all of the American people. See, the budget of the Department of Defense, the the one department out of the entire federal government that not only loses the most money, loses now, which means unaccounted for, have no explanation for. Not only do they are the only department that loses the most money, they're also the only department that has the highest percentage of discretionary privileges. 65% of their budget is discretionary. So they can do what they want to do with it. How is questions about the budget of the most wasteful department of the government not most paramount in an interview of the man who's going to be leading that fucking department? There's no way you can square that with common sense. The only way you square not making the budget of the Department of Defense the most ridiculously outlandishly spending machine of the federal government. You ask only one question about it in 3 hours of interviewing the man who's going to have the most influence over the budget once it's approved. $850 million. What in fuck's sake do we need with $800 million in the defense budget for a country like ours? A country like ours. Now, this doesn't apply to all other countries. Other countries cannot say what I'm about to say and it be true for them like it is for us Americans. $850 billion, there's no justification for that type of budget for a Defense Department for a country like America, because we can defend ourselves without activating our active military, without activating our National Guard or our reserves of any branch. We ourselves, the people, can defend any invasion from any country in the world on our shores. We have that capability. That's how fucking cold we are in America. And every country knows that. Every country knows that behind every blade of grass in America, there's a gun. So every country knows that physical invasion is not the fucking way we're going to get to America. Which a country as such that we are, that we can defend ourselves without the help of our active military and military members. We can do it with just the veterans, for one. Just the veterans themselves. But because we are so powerful like that, we don't need a defense budget that high. The only way that America is vulnerable now is through propaganda, which people who are in the middle of all this shit between the left and the right can see. We all can see the propaganda war. World War III basically has already started, but it's not a physical war anymore. It's a digital war. Other countries know America's biggest weakness, and that's its inability to admit that. For one, we hate each other. Most people hate each other, especially from a white and black standpoint, or a white and Hispanic, or a period. There's a lot of hate, and other countries know that. And we don't like to admit it. We don't like to deal with it. We like to push it on the rug, but they know that, and they know that that's the only way they can exploit America. They know that they could never physically invade this country. And even if they bombed us, we just bomb them right back. So they know that, they understand now that to defeat America, you cannot do it externally with physicality, brutality, bombs, and all that shit. You have to do it internally. You have to go internal to America, and you have to take it out from the inside. And the best way to do that is to exploit our one weakness, our one fallacy, which is the fact that we would not admit what we really are. And we hide behind so many other shields to mask the actual hate that we have for certain people. And they and that gets exploited through propaganda, because you're able to turn the majority of people against each other. You're able to turn them against each other, while the elites, they stay cool. As you saw, Obama and Trump. I mean, man, and then what's so crazy is they play right in y'all faces, and y'all just eat it up. The politicians play right in your faces. You see them together. You see them talking. Like Trump and Obama sitting there talking should have been the biggest wake up call to anyone who was in any liberal stupor or conservative stupor. Anyone who was leaning either way, seeing them together should have slapped your ass in the face, and woke you up enough to see that it's a game for them. You may fight each other. You may go after each other. You may be at each other's throats. But they're not. They're not on on social media dropping statistics about who's the worst race from a criminal standpoint. Them folks sitting there chilling, laughing at us, laughing at you. But you will take all your energy hating people who are on the same level with you, while thinking that people who are 4 times your level have any care about you. And that's just a little side tangent, but every move they make is in direct contradiction of helping the majority of the country. And all we get are these dog and pony shows, which are supposed to be confirmation hearings where we learn nothing of fucking substance. They address no consequential issues. It's all just banter. It's all just ad hominems, and that is supposed to suffice. It's good enough for us, for everybody, to just be okay with the people in which they choose, and it's not. It's only good for that side, and that's why they love it. And that's why we just stuck here in the middle, man. Just watching these assholes go back and forth with each other. And those hearings are fucking horrible, man. We learned nothing from Pam Bundy today. What did we learn of any substance from Pam Bundy? Nothing. Just like we learned nothing of substance from Pete Hegseth yesterday. Nothing budgetary. You know, the budget of the Department of Defense, the budget of the Department of Defense is the only thing that directly affects all Americans, not just conservatives, not just liberals. Cutting their budget, reallocating their money to where it could actually help. That affects all Americans because that's our money. Those are our tax dollars. Worrying about who has a penis, who doesn't have a penis, who wants to get rid of their penis, who sticks their penis in a butthole or a vagina, like that has no bearing on the majority of Americans. The only people who care about what people are doing with their penises are conservatives. So the whole hearing is just about what are you going to do about gay people? What are you going to do about women? What are you going to do about all these cosmetic issues? All of the issues in which are made so important and so popular, they're all bullshit issues, which has been proven. Immigration, bullshit issue. Why is it a bullshit issue? Because you were so mad and so up in arms about the immigration at the southern border, that now they done finessed your ass and you get immigration from H-1B visas. That's called a 42 fake out where we from. They straight finessed y'all ass. Finessed every conservative. Because they knew that where your focus was. Your focus was on your emotional hate for certain people coming across the border. And they knew how to exploit that. They said, we know they hate the people coming across the border. Let's exploit it. Let's get them focused on immigration. They were just putting immigration all in your face all day long. And now as soon as they got the power, now they're finna bring immigration out of the fire and into the fire. Out of the pan into the fire. Because now immigration is finna come from another spot. And then all of that, they just told your ass to go work at Chipotle. They just told your conservative, hardworking ass, got your degree, did all your shit. Now the people who you voted for just told your hardworking ass to go get your ass a job at fucking Chipotle. Come on now. These are your folks. These are the people who you voted for. But again, they were not in your tax bracket. They were not of your ilk. These influencers who you're listening to, the Christopher Rufo guy. These influencers are filthy rich. You are not filthy rich. That man told your ass to go to Chipotle with a degree so that they could H-1B your ass up out of here with somebody else. So you go to Chipotle. We're going to bring in H-1BV on your ass. But all you're worried about at the fucking confirmation hearing of the Secretary of Defense, potentially, and the potential Attorney General is what are they going to do about the people who stick their dicks in places that we don't agree they should stick it at. For the most part. All cosmetic. So the only thing that we learned from either confirmation hearing today are all the cosmetic changes that these people are going to potentially make. Cosmetic, but nothing of substance. Nothing. Absolutely nothing of substance. Pam Bundy, nobody asked her, what are you going to do about all this illegal immigration they're finna do with the H-1B visas? What are you going to do to help prevent that? To stop them from coming over and taking jobs? Pam Bundy was not asked, not that I saw she was asked about it. And even if she was asked about it, it wasn't the focus of the hearing. The focus of the hearing were the same talking points that folks been fighting over for decades. And prices still rise. Y'all been fighting over this shit forever. Each year, each presidential election, it's the same arguments. Immigration, black people, Arabs, Muslims, just frivolous shit that doesn't matter. But it's never, for not one election have I ever seen anybody raise arms about, hey, let's focus on all of the waste that the government is doing with our tax dollars. Hundreds of years of of presidents and political debates. When was the last time anybody made a national issue out of what's going on with our tax dollars at the Department of Defense? Why do they have 65% of a discretionary budget? Why do we constantly pay for politicians' health care after they've retired? Why do they have lifetime health care? That's money. Why do we hemorrhage so much money on stuff that does not directly benefit the people? Again, the outrage is fake. The outrage over immigration is fake. Because they 42 faked your ass to be mad at immigration on the southern border, and now they finna bring it in from somewhere else. So your immigration outrage is fake. You really don't care about fiscal responsibility the way you say you do. Conservatives scream fiscal government spending. Oh my God. But you know what? It is so amazing the mental gymnastics that conservatives do to focus on government spending and raise hell about government spending only when it's the bottom percentile of the federal budget, right? So that's the only thing that conservatives make a fuss about nationally on spending is the smallest part of the federal budget, which is welfare, food stamps, insurance. They make the biggest fuss about that, or Planned Parenthood, or abortion and all that. They pale. They are so minuscule in comparison to the budget of the DOD and the money that they waste. That's why I say it's so fake. All your conservative outrage, all your woke rightness over so-called fiscal responsibility, but you allow the military to spend and spend and spend on money that we do not need because we are a country who can defend ourselves without even activating our military. There's no way we need $850 million in the budget that they lose and do not have account for and have done for countless amounts of years. No. You cannot say you are fiscally responsible and the only fiscal responsibility you worry about lies at the bottom, at the smallest percentage of the federal budget. You only care about fiscal responsibility when it comes to food stamps and the stuff that poor people receive. But you're never up in arms the same way with the same energy. You don't keep that same energy when it comes to the fiscal responsibility for the welfare that the rich receive. All allocation of money in government and in business too, for that matter, is disproportionate and it's wrong. The top 1% of all either employees or affiliates of all government agencies, and by affiliates I mean vendors and contractors, those are the ones who get the majority of the money given to each department, no matter what the department is. All departments give the majority of their money to the top 1% of that department, whether it be the employees of that department or whether it be affiliates of that department, such as vendors, such as contractors. So when you're looking at the $850 billion fucking dollars that the Defense Department is getting, that's not there for your benefit. That's there for the benefit of the top benefactors, the top 1% benefactors of the Department of Defense, which is usually Lockheed Martin, General Electric, Ford, Boeing, and whoever else is in that category of the top 1% of motherfuckers who get the majority of the federal budget. But conservatives, oh my God, man, like y'all are the biggest, whiniest, cryingest babies about the smallest part of the federal budget, but silent as fuck on the biggest part of the federal budget that gets wasted without thought. There's no accountability because more than half of the budget is discretionary. They don't even have to legally account for it. So not only do they get to fuck off the money that they don't have to be legally accountable for, they also fuck off the other 35% that's there that they're supposed to be legally accountable for because they lose it. Time after time, the Pentagon has lost $800 billion and can't account for it. But where are you at on that? Fiscal responsible conservatives? You know we're on that because you're hypocrites and you're full of shit on all your issues. You're full of shit on the immigration issue. Again, when you worried about the southern border immigration, now your ass getting H1B immigration. You say you're worried about fiscal responsibility, but you're only worried about the fiscal responsibility at the bottom of the damn budget, the smallest part of the federal budget, which is welfare, which is Planned Parenthood. You're so worried about the money Planned Parenthood getting for abortions, but you're not worried about the money that the Department of Defense is hemorrhaging. We know nothing about. And any military member will tell you that they are not allowed to roll budgets over. No department is allowed to roll budgets over. And you know what they do when they can't roll budgets over from one fiscal year to another? That means that the entire budget has to be spent. And like I was just saying, anybody in the military can tell you. When you have to spend that money, you spend it on whatever you have to spend it on. Because most times there is a surplus before the fiscal year is over. Most times when these military operations on these bases, whenever these budgets are given to these people for missions and whatever it is, there is so much money that is left over that's not needed. But before the fiscal year ends, they better spend it. They better fucking spend all of it. And they will tell you, the military members will tell you themselves, they buy the most frivolous shit that has nothing to do with the American people. Nothing at all. They buy private stuff, cars, clothes, vacations, go all type of shit they do with their money. And that's a part of the $850 billion that a Defense Department has that they don't need because we're such a strong country. But where's your fiscal responsibility on that? If you put the energy that you put into what the poor people are getting from the welfare side, which is, again, the smallest percent of the federal budget, if you put that energy into the Department of Defense, I'm just the Department of Defense, because their budget is so high. Imagine the accountability and how much money we could save and reallocate to right places if we just clamp down on that. No, but you don't care about that. You do not care about that. So it's rightfully so that, you all are receiving what you're receiving now. Conservatives, you deserve it. You deserve all the ass fucking you're getting right now from the same people you voted for. Because you voted for it. You voted for it. So you deserve to go work at Chipotle. They've been telling us that for years. They've been telling black folks that for years. Go get it. So, welcome. Welcome to the workforce. Welcome to the black jobs. Welcome to it. And your own people sent you here. But you voted for it because they knew how to take advantage of your hate for certain people. Because that's all you all were actually united in. You wasn't actually united behind immigration because they had you focused on one immigration and brought another one in on you. You weren't actually focused on fiscal responsibility because you only focus on the smallest percentage of fiscal responsibility and not the biggest. You're completely okay with all that money being hemorrhaged from the DOD. And that's not even to account for all the other governmental departments that have allocation problems, that spend all their money to their top 1%, DHS, and oh my God. And you want to fucking abolish the Department of Education. You want to get rid of the fucking Department of Education, but have no problem with the DOD wasting all our money. No, you hypocritical son of a bitches. No. You deserve everything that happens from this administration. You all deserve it. Because it makes no sense that we allow the dog and pony shows to go on like these confirmation hearings. These confirmation hearings are telling us absolutely nothing about these people and the substance of what they're going to do while they're in these positions. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. I cannot get over the fact that only one question yesterday I saw, you asked the potential Secretary of Defense, who's going to have control of the most wasteful budget in the federal government. And only one fucking question about it. And you didn't even really jump into specifics about lowering the discretionary fund. Why the hell they need 65%? And again, this is just one department of the government. Look at how long I can talk about one department of the government and their lack of spending, and it was not mentioned not one time in a fucking Senate hearing with the fucking jackoffs that we got in place to ask these questions to grill these people. Yes, Pete Hegseth swept the floor of fucking Democrats, but he was supposed to because they're a bunch of dumbasses. But the Republicans did not ask one question of fucking substance. Not one that would tell the average American, not the conservative American, not the liberal American, you motherfuckers are in pockets of your own. So yes, that's who they gave you all the pomp and circumstance for. For you pocketed motherfuckers over here left and right, that's who this dog and pony show is for. On Capitol Hill, because you have no actual care for actual normal Americans who don't give a fuck about either of you, who can see that both of you are the same. You only care about your narrative being fulfilled. So you're okay with this dog and pony shit. You're okay with not holding them accountable and asking them questions, because actually you're okay with them spending money like that. And that's the real issue, you know. And that's where the fakeness comes in for me, you know, with you all. That's how I know most of your agenda is hate. Because of those particular facts, you actually do not care. Conservative, that the Department of Defense does that, spends that money like that. You really don't care about it. Just as long as the poor people don't get it. Long as the people that we don't like don't get it, we're fine. Long as the people who we like are getting the money and spending it, we're good. So that's why there's never a thing about that. We still paying retired politicians fucking health care, and they got the best health care in the land. And people dying from health care. What the fuck? Come on, man. Those people don't care about you. Insurance companies can take your money for 50, 60, 70, 20, 30, 40 years. And then all of a sudden one day, you know what? They can say, you know what? Fuck you. We gone. And they can leave. And all your money is gone. Where are the politicians at on that? How is that not a number one issue in America over immigration? Immigration pales in comparison to the fact that for years, insurance companies have been able to scam people, and we just say like it's okay. Like it's not okay. It's not okay that people pay into a system. I'm paying you for you to service me in my time of need. So not only can you just pick up and leave and take all my fucking money with you after I paid you, even if you do stay, you get to take me through the fucking ringer to prove that I deserve the assistance in which I paid for all this time. That's a fucking scam. It's a scam. And the fact that that has not been a hot button issue on the political scale, again, shows the hypocrisy of all politics, and especially conservatives. It shows the hypocrisy. That's more important than immigration. That's more important than who's sticking their dick where. The fact that insurance companies are able to scam people like that, that should be the number one issue of every politician. Why has no politician ever made that a part of their platform? Not one. Name one politician who's ever ran on the platform of ending the insurance scam, regulating insurance companies. Name one. You can't. Because that's an actual real issue that affects more than just the right or the left, more than just liberals or Democrats. That affects everybody. See, so that's why us in the middle can never get anything done or no one to fight for us, because nobody cares about issues that affect us. And insurance companies scamming us for years, which they know about, see, that affects middle people. That don't affect, just say, it mainly affects us, so they don't give a fuck about that. The interest scam. Interest is the other, like, legal stealing is the biggest issue in America. But Again, conservatives, you don't care about legal stealing. Legal stealing is fine. Insurance company scamming people, loan company scamming people with interest. Interest is the biggest, is another one of the biggest scams, especially when it comes to housing. Buying a house was the American dream. Why was buying a house an American dream? Because houses were some of the only assets, probably one of the assets that actually appreciates. It's one of the only appreciable assets there is. It was at one point, buying a house, because when you bought a house, you put money into it, you sweat equity, and when you get ready to sell it, you get all your money back. So you got your equity out of the house. You've increased yourself. You bought it for a low price, built it up, sold it for a higher price. Got your money out. Well, now insurance is so fucking high with just your mortgage alone. Right now, with just your mortgage alone, you would never sell your house for the price that you paid for a mortgage. Never. You would never sell your house for that. And why? That's because of interest. Interest is a scam. It's the biggest scam of all that no politician talks about. Because why? It's something that affects everybody. It just doesn't affect the left or the right. It affects every fucking body. So buying your house was supposed to be something that brought you wealth. It does not do that anymore. Buying a house does not appreciate you anymore. Pun intended. Now when you buy a house, you will never ever sell your house for the amount you pay in mortgage, because the interest doubles. You buy your house for $300,000, you're going to pay $700,000. Most people are in interest. Of course, you may have, I don't speak in exceptions. I speak for the most part in majority. So you have your people who will pay off early, but for the most part, if you're going to go through your whole 30-year mortgage or whatever your mortgage is, you're going to pay double. So you buy your house for $300,000, but when by the time you pay your mortgage off, you pay $600,000. You're never going to sell a house you bought for $300,000 for $600,000. Not unless we hit an inflation market like we did in 2021, 2022, where everybody got lucky. But, that's not normal. But you'll never be able to sell that house for that amount again. And that's just with interest. And notice I'm just talking about the mortgage. I haven't even included in the repairs that you're going to put into the house, the improvements that you're going to put into the house, the maintenance, the enhancements, all of the money you're going to pour into that house over the lifetime of you being there. You will never be able to sell and get that money back now because of the interest scam. Interest is a fucking scam. That's a scam. The American dream is a scam because now houses no longer appreciate. At this point, houses only depreciate for the average. Anyone who bought houses in 2021 during the inflation time, oh my God, like literally, and you are sure enough fucked if you bought a house during inflation. You are surely to Jesus fucked. Because your house, when you bought it, was 400% the times, 400% higher than what it was before you bought it. So you bought a house that was $200,000 one month, and then the next month when you bought it, it was $600,000. Your house been depreciating since you bought it. You'll never get that money back. You've lost. So the interest scam is bigger than the insurance scam. It's legal stealing, legalized stealing that our politicians have legalized because the people who own these companies fund their campaigns. And I mean, the fact that people cannot see that, I don't know. I mean, do I have some special glasses on or something that allows me to be able to see the fact that I can see this person's campaign? It's not like it's a secret. So I can go and look and see who's donating to you. I can see that State Farm is a donor of you. I can see that State Farm has been a donor of politicians all the way back to this point in time and this point in time. And now I just see over these years, it's no coincidence that some of the biggest donors are insurance companies and the laws are more favorable to insurance companies. There's no coincidence, right? I mean, am I again, am I the only one wearing special glasses to be able to actually see that and to be able to actually see that that's much more massive of a problem than immigration? That's much more massive of a problem than who's fucking who? That's much more massive of a problem than who wants to get a dick and who wants to cut it off? The fact that buying a house now is detrimental? No. No. No, 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 no. No. It's not right. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of other issues that actually matter that has never hit any political platform of any political politician. And you wonder why prices keep going up. You wonder why shit's getting worse. Shit's getting worse because all we focus on are hot button issues that only appease the fringe elements of our fucking society. If you subscribe to a conservative ideology, especially nowadays, you're extreme right. You're woke right. If you subscribe to a liberal ideology, you're extreme left. You're woke left. The pendulum swings from one extreme to the other. And that's where all the focus of all the politicians lies at, because these are the only people raising hell over issues that only affect them, or that they feel only affect them because of how they feel about each other. You're so focused on immigration, while insurance companies out here scamming the fuck out of people forever. You seen what Luigi did. He did it for a fucking reason. These people are wrong. How the hell am I gonna pay you money all these years for you to put me through hell to get something back from you after I done gave you all my fucking money that I can't get back? And now I got to die? Because I'm not gonna jump through, or I didn't jump through the correct hoop for you that I paid you to insure me? Oh man. No. No, no, no. It's all a scam. All of the conservative outrage and the bullshit is fake. It's a scam, because those issues are minuscule. Those issues are miniature. Those issues are Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to gargantuan issues such as legalized stealing that hurts the average American. Not only legalized stealing, discretionary budgets for the Department of Defense. And then when you have the people in front of you who you are supposed to be interviewing and grilling and questioning these folks, man. Like, you're supposed to be on these folks' ass like, hey, bro, what the hell you gonna do with all this money that we about to give you? Because traditionally, motherfuckers in your position have fucked this money off. So what are you gonna do with it? No question of the such. None of the such. So, telling you, to see conservatives eating each other alive now over this shit, I'm telling you, you all deserve it. You all damn well deserve it. And, y'all are killing this country. You really are. All you sons of bitches are killing this fucking country. To see you all eat yourselves up over the difference between Trump and Tate. Man, I'm telling you, the mental gymnastics that conservatives do to Bikram yoga stretch to try to make a point, feel a point. Oh my God. It's amazing. It's out of this world, the stretching that they can do. Oh man. Tate and Trump are the same thing. Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, same person. From a literal standpoint, I'm not even speaking figuratively. From a literal standpoint, they literally have the exact same events that happen in their life. Both accused of sexual assault. Both accused of pimping. Tate had cam girls. Trump had Miss USA pageant. Both have children by multiple women out of wedlock. Both have been arrested and prosecuted, and both have been found not guilty and set free. Well, not necessarily not guilty for Trump, but at least set free, which is the same thing. But to see the mental gymnastics, man, that conservatives take to try to somehow differentiate between Tate and Trump. There is no difference in Tate and Trump. They are literally the same. When conservatives drop their morals to support Trump, like, the floodgates are open now. You can't go back and grab your family morals now because you sided with Trump. Trump was not the moral bastion of conservative values. But you said fuck that because he's espousing what we like to hear. He is speaking to our hate. He's not speaking to your sensibility or to your logic or to your so-called financial or fiscal responsibility or to your care about immigration. He's speaking to your hate because you only care about those issues only when it applies to certain people. So 42 fake out on you. Caught you slipping. Straight up caught you slipping. Because you thought that because he spoke to your hate and what you like to hear, that it was going to turn out good for you. And it didn't. Because now you have immigration coming from the other end. So you are out of the frying pan and into the fire. We good. Here we go. And listen, it's not going to stop. I can tell you now. And just watching these confirmation hearings confirms it even more for me. Like, I feel like I'm from the future. I really do, because just looking at history and seeing what happened the last time Republicans had the majority when Obama was in. Like, they had all the power. You had the majority and you did nothing with it. Infighting. You want to know why? Because conservatives are really not united under anything concrete or anything substantial. They're basically united in hate, which is why as soon as they unite in hate and they get the power, they get to fighting with each other because they have no actual issue to address. Because the only thing they actually agreed on was the fact that they hate these folks. And we don't want these folks getting shit that we got because we hate these son of bitches. But now that we're here, now it's infighting. And now y'all got the 42 fake out. And so, like I said, I feel like I'm from the future just by knowing history, because history is going to repeat itself. And I can already see it. I can see for the next 4 years, the Republicans are about to break into factions. They're about to split off into different groups. You're going to have your woke right Republicans. You're going to have your rhinos. You're going to have, your nationalists. They're all going to split off into groups. And there's going to be so much infighting, especially with Trump and Tate. Oh my God. Again, just going back to that. When you dropped your morals to accept Trump, you cannot pick them back up to try to deny Tate. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. You dropped your morals for Trump because, again, he spoke to you. He felt you. He said what you wanted to hear at the time. So when you dropped your morals to accept him because he did not fit conservative values. But when you dropped your morals to say, hey, he's better than some Democrat, you cannot pick them back up to try to dismiss Tate. No, Tate is Trump. Trump is Tate. All day long. And you all have to eat that. You all have to accept that because this is on you. You all opened up the floodgates. You all opened up the door. It's on you. Same side, different sides of the same coin. Left wing, right wing. But y'all still punching the shit out the same bird, man. Like it's wild, And it's so crazy. Like it's so surreal for me to see in real time, and anyone from the middle, anyone who's not lost in the narrative, the left-right narrative, anybody who's not lost in that narrative can literally sit back and just watch. It's like watching a movie almost, or it's like watching a puppet show. It's really like watching a puppet show, seeing the song and dance of the liberal and the conservative, or the Democrat and the Republican. Because I sat back on election night, right? Election night, man, election night was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I laughed my ass. I had so much fun on election night. And I'm gonna tell you why. I had fun watching the liberals freak out, watching them pull their hair out, jump up and down, scream and shout, so pissed off that Trump won, right? Loved it. Enjoyed every bit of it. Then I was sitting back and I was looking at, so not only was I on social media watching the reactions, I was also out. I was at the bar. And so I also saw the right. I saw the conservatives. And so I'm seeing them celebrate, right? So I'm seeing all the liberals crying and hurting all this shit. But I'm seeing the right, they're celebrating. They're flaunting. They're boasting. They're happy. And I'm just sitting back looking like, and again, I felt like I was from the future even at that time, because I was like, same things make you laugh and make you cry. And and I'm just sitting there looking like, okay, you really think a billionaire understands you here in the bar with me, who I can see. You really think a billionaire understands you, a billionaire now. So you have got it in your mind that a person who's worth $1 billion, who's a billionaire, really thinking about your interest as someone who's middle class, and you are so happy and you're so elated that this billionaire has gotten to a supposed position of power that's going to directly affect you. So just sitting there watching them celebrate, knowing that they would be crying like the liberals shortly after, and then now seeing it actually happen, because I knew it was going to happen based off of history, because it always happens. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's the best show in the world. It's the best show in the world. I'm telling you. I saw them that night, the conservatives, boy, they were lit. They were so happy about the election, so happy about it. And again, I was sitting there watching, just thinking, the same things that make you laugh and make you cry. And, I already knew that. Now that you have, it's just like a dog chasing the tire, man. Like, I bullshit you not. Conservatives, when it comes to this shit, are just like a dog chasing the fucking tire. That dog would chase that goddamn tire, try to bite that son bitch, jump over a ditch, run through mud, flip over a gate. I'm talking about he would vehemently attack that fucking tire. But just as soon as the car stopped and he actually gets the tire, stuck like Chuck. Don't know what the fuck to do, And that's them. Those are conservatives when it comes to getting these political positions. They do all the hoopla, all the song and dance about the supposed important issues, which are really not important issues at all. They raise the biggest fuss about the smallest percentage of the budget, while making no fuss about the biggest percentage of the budget, which is being misused, mishandled, lost. They do all of that just to get to the position of power. And then once they're there, they have no true motive other than the collective emotional hate they have for the people who they didn't want to give them the resources, that now they can't even agree on what to do. So for the next 4 years, I can guarantee you it's going to be nothing but Republican infighting. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to change is the thing that stays consistent, that changes all the time, which is prices are going to go up. So prices will go up no matter who's in office. No matter who's in office. Prices will always go up. 30 years ago, things were cheaper. 30 years before that, things were cheaper. 30 years before that, things were cheaper. Prices will always go up no matter who is in office. It does not matter. Only because, though, the only ones in office only deal with issues that pertain to either party, to either side. That's why us in the middle have to still deal with the repercussions of these dumbasses, because they would not deal with the actual real issues to rightfully address the price hikes and the price and inflation and the reason that things get so high. It's not supposed to be that way. So like, when things are not supposed to get this high from the expense standpoint without the wage at least coming up to meet it, at some percentage higher than what it is now. So it's not supposed to be this way. It's only this way because of the politicians and the game in which they play with us and the people in which we elect, because they only focus on hot button issues to keep you emotional enough to keep you distracted, while they use all the money behind the scenes to funnel to the top 1% of those particular departments or those particular endeavors. All of our money, all of our tax dollars, when it gets split up, goes to the top 1% of the department heads or the vendors or the contractors who are receiving the funds. That's where most of it goes, and none of it to benefit the American people. And, until conservatives can get up off of their fucking high horse and their hypocrisy with acting like we're only focused on what's best for the country. No, you're fucking not. Because what's best for the country is stop the hemorrhaging at the DOD. Stop paying politicians life insurance after they retire. Stop paying politicians so much to be fucking politicians. Stop subsidizing whole entire fucking countries. Both sides do it. Conservatives want to subsidize Israel. Liberals want to subsidize Ukraine. And the hypocrisy and the audacity of fucking conservatives to tell blacks to stop being lazy and pull themselves up by their own bootstraps and stop looking for a handout when these son of bitches fully subsidize Israel is the biggest act of hypocrisy in life. Like, no, you cannot wave your finger at black people for asking for shit when you same motherfuckers are fully subsidizing the GDP of an entire fucking country. No. Again, goes back to what I was saying earlier. Conservatives only care about certain people getting shit. That's why, with the amount of attention that's put on welfare, what they call welfare, food stamps and insurance, and I'm going to even throw abortion in and Planned Parenthood, the amount of attention that's put into those topics, you would think that they taking up 75% of the budget. You would think that those expenses take up, you would think that 75% of our federal budget, which means that you would think that 75 cents out of every dollar that comes out of your paycheck that goes to the government, you would think, they would have you think, with the amount of energy they put into those topics, that they take up 75% of our budget. 75%. You want to know how much of our budget food stamps takes up? Maybe 4, maybe 3. But the amount of energy put into the smallest percentage of the budget is indicative of your fucking hate, man. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all when you say it's not about hate, it's not about emotions. Yes, it is. Because you're only focusing on the smallest percentage of the federal budget when you want to make an argument about fiscal responsibility and telling black folks to pick themselves up by their own bootstraps, stop asking for handouts when you subsidize an entire fucking country. Nope. You can't see it. No, no, no. And not only that, especially when your ancestors were subsidized, like everybody was subsidized fully for the most part when they came here. Except for us, but that's a whole nother subject. I don't even want to jump off into that subject of, trying to throw us in there. My main thing is sticking on the fucking dysfunction of our government and the fact that we allow these left and these right lunatics to run our fucking country like that. Like we really have to. It really has to stop. These left and these right lunatics, like we will most definitely not have a country before it's over with, because the billionaires have taken over. Just think about that, man. Think about that. Think about that shit. We have fucking billionaires now. Billionaires. A billionaire's main goal is his bottom line. And a billionaire's bottom line is profit. A billionaire's bottom line is profit. And the mental gymnastics that conservatives have done to present this subterfuge that a billionaire really cares about middle America. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. When I say finesse, I didn't think, I knew people were stupid, but I really did not think that the finesse could happen like that. To where a billionaire really gets people to believe he has their middle class interest at heart. I mean, I don't. So, you guys deserve it, man. You deserve to go and work at Chipotle. You deserve to come down to the black jobs. Deserve to come in there with Tyrone. You deserve to come in here with Warren and McDonald's. Yes, bring your highly educated, hardworking ass to fast food, because now you should be replaced by the people who you voted in are importing. Like, and again, I guess I'm the only one who can just kind of see this shit. I guess, I don't know. I must have some special glasses on. But it would stand to reason that you would already know that Americans don't believe in fucking work, especially paying hard for work, especially billionaires, not captains of industry. We have so many historical examples of captains of industry. They brought a whole nother fucking race over here to do the work. So, like, y'all should have known your own people, conservatives. Because as much as you want to scream, the Democrats had the slaves, well, Democrats at that time, what was their political ideology? They were conservative, right? That's what I thought. I don't play the semantics of Democrats and Republicans. Those are just fake names. Those are just fake shields for the real ideology, which is conservative and liberal. And bottom line is, Democrats were conservative when they held the slaves. So under conservative rule, we have seen what it's like to be under an extreme conservative rule. So, no. It's just too much. It's just too much hypocrisy. Like you gotta come up off it. If this country is gonna be anything, we have to get away from these left and right lunatics, because all they're doing is driving us straight into the ground. It's just like a plane crashing, and instead of these fools trying to pull the lever back up, they're arguing about who's going to change the commode. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's our country right now. Just imagine that. Imagine nosedive. You're in a plane and you're nosediving. And instead of you're trying to pull the lever back up, you're like, hey, let me just pull the lever back up because, let's say the pilot passed out. And you're trying to pull the lever back up. That's all you got to do. All you got to do to stabilize the plane is to pull the damn control back up. But instead of doing that, you got these two fucking idiots on the left and the right stopping you from doing it because they want to argue over who's sticking their dick where. Are you a butt fucker? Are you a butt fucker? Okay, no, you can't. Like, They're arguing over who's sticking their penis where, and they're not allowing you to save the plane. To just pull, like, look, all I gotta do is pull the plane up, dude. What does it matter what you're talking about right now? Why are you worried about that he has a wig on? Or why are you trying to change the toilet? Why are you trying to change the trash right now? Let me pull the fucking plane up, dude. That's what our political system is right now. That's what our country is. We are crashing. We are falling down, nosedive, and the left and the right are preventing us in the middle from just simply pulling up the plane and leveling it out because they want to argue over shit that has nothing to do with saving the goddamn plane. None of what they talk about is about saving our country. None of what they talk about is about bettering our country. But those are the only issues that are put out in the forefront. And these son of a bitches play right in y'all faces, man. They tell y'all this shit. Y'all see who fund these people. You see the banks fund these people. You see the insurance companies fund these people. And you're favorable to the insurance company than they are you. They're more favorable to the loan company than they are you. That's because that's who they really care about, are the people who fund their campaigns. They don't give a shit about you. The billionaires only care about their bottom line. The politicians only care about their fucking bottom line. And which is who's funding their fucking campaign. So of course, you're never going to hear any politician talk about any actual issue that affects most Americans. You're only going to hear politicians platform issues that only affect certain particular sects of Americans on the fringe, extreme ends of each political spectrum. Those are the only issues that will be platformed, are issues that pertain to the extreme fucking fringes of our political spectrum. The middle is just fucked. If you're in the middle, you're just fucked. It's wild, man. It's wild. It's wild. And those hearings are, like I said, this all just stems from watching those hearings, man. I know I've rambled a lot and I've ranted a lot tonight, but this shit is fucked up, man. And it's not that hard to fix. It's not rocket science. Our problem as a country is not rocket science. Our problems are actually very simple to fix. But the fact that people are so full of their own personal political agendas and so keen and so goddamn obsessed with seeing the conservative agenda push or the liberal agenda push, that the agenda for the average person is just fucked. It's fucked. And we have to sit back and look at that shit they give us and say this is a confirmation hearing. That was not a fucking confirmation hearing. These are not confirmation hearings. These are dog and pony shows. This is S and fucking L. Oh my God, man. I mean, has life imitated art that much that fucking SNL has come true? These are SNL. I just realized that, man. Wow. I just had that fucking realization here now, but those are SNL skits. These confirmations are fucking SNL skits. Oh my God, man. And it is so fucking ridiculous. Nothing but comedy shows. Nothing of substance. But only thing is, the joke is really on us. See? Because they will benefit from the decisions that they make. We won't. So it's even more of a cruel fucking joke. It's like a cruel version of SNL. The fact that we get to watch this comedy show play out, but it's not really funny because they're making real life decisions that fucking affect us. Or that won't affect us, which is even worse because we won't get a benefit from it. And if it does affect us, it only affects us in a bad way. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That the effect of their fucking comedy show, if it affects us, it's in a bad way. And if it doesn't affect us, it's still fucked up because it didn't help us. Man, what are they for? What are politicians for, man? for even putting them in. Like, at some point, like, the blame really has to be pointed back at the fucking people, man. You know, because, like, man, if we fucking allow this shit, and each side only wants to see their agenda fulfilled, and we just deal with fucking SNL for confirmation hearings. These people doing comedy shows, making decisions about our life. It's like watching Comic View or Def Comedy Jam and decisions about your life being made. That's hard to fathom, man. Like, that's a fucked up reality that people who do not subscribe to a certain ideology or who do not lean far left or far right, it's really fucked up for us. It's a fucked up reality for us, man. Because we get the brunt of all the fucking decisions that are made. These dumbasses don't even realize it's affecting them. You know, like I said, the fucking right screams about fiscal responsibility all these fucking years, but don't realize most of their money's getting stolen from them from the fucking Department of Defense. So it's oh man, dude. But look at the fleas on Fluffy, baby. Look at the fleas on fucking Fluffy. Look at how the conservatives are now. You traded one immigration for another one. Oh my God. I mean, just the irony, man. The irony is so sweet. I just can't get over it. You traded one fucking immigration for another one. And it was so easy. Like, I mean, it was. It was so easy. All he had to say was build a wall. All he had to say was they're eating the chickens and they're eating the gooses. That was all that needed to be said for you to fall for the okie doke. And now you've traded one immigration for another. Come on, man. Come on, man. There's no way, you know, people say make it make sense. There's no way to make sense of that. You can't make sense of that because there's no sense behind it. There was no sense behind it from the beginning because it was nonsensical to vote for a billionaire thinking that they had your self-interest at heart. Like, where? When? Do we not look at history? Like, history tells us all we need to know about the future that is to come. History tells us. At one point in history, have billionaires ever in history had the interests of middle-class people? Never. If billionaires had the best interests of middle-class people, we would not be in the state we are in today. Because our country as it stands now is completely profit-driven, which is completely fucked up. That is extreme fucking capitalism, that profit is placed above all, even quality. We are so fucking profit-driven that we don't even get quality products anymore. Nothing is fucking quality. We can't even get a fucking quality video game. But the price is sky high because we're so capitalist that we are completely fucking profit-driven that the quality has plummeted. The whole point of capitalism was that competition was supposed to elevate the fucking quality. Well, shit, all the competition has been taken out. We mostly have monopolies in every category of spending. We mainly only buy from a handful of people for everything that we buy in America. So profit is the ultimate goal. Profit is the ultimate end all be all for America. And that's why we have no quality with our products now. Because no one is held accountable because they're given a pass long as they're making a profit. Like, you know, hey, I'm all for capitalism, but god damn, this is not capitalism. This is fucking make a profit or nothing else-ism. Like, profit, you know, fuck you-ism. No. Just because we're a capitalist society doesn't mean that we are completely profit-driven and that's it. That nothing else matters beyond making a profit. Fuck no. But it's that mentality that we have. And that's why we can't have fucking carryovers. Until, again, another prime example of conservative hypocrisy and the fact that you all are only united based off of hate is because where's your outrage over the fact that at no point in federal government history that we know of have there ever been fiscal year carryovers. No department is able to carry money over to the next fiscal year. Why is that? Why is that, fiscal conservatives? Why is that? Please explain that. You cannot explain that because you do not care about that. That is a glaring issue. That is a monumental issue. Way more important about who wants to cut their dick off. Every government agency should be able to roll money over from one fiscal year to the next. Why? Why can they not? Why is that not allowed? And why, fiscally responsible Republicans and conservatives, have you not championed this cause to help save money for the American people who you say all your issues and all your voting for Trump was for? Why can't we do that? Why can't we push the issue of fiscal year carryovers for every department of the government? I'll tell you exactly why. Because you really don't give a shit. Because that's something that affects most people. That doesn't just affect you on the right. Making all governmental departments have fiscal year carryovers, that affects everybody. Because that saves everybody money. But you guys want to do it, man. You want to do it. You would not focus on actual issues to save this country. You only want to focus on hot button issues that give you an avenue or an outlet to espouse your fucking hate and mask it behind caring about the country. You do not care about the country. You only care about what is important to your narrative or to your agenda. And it's wild, man, that this is where we're stuck at. And that's why your ass is getting replaced by Patel. Patel coming over here and kicking your hard-working ass out. Patel is finna come do you the same way you did 2 moons. You remember how, well, you probably don't remember, but you know the history of how y'all came, John Smith and the lot John Locke, and did, Sitting Bull and all them folks. Patel about to come do your ass the same way. All because you voted for you voted for it. You voted for Kumar and Patel and Pakish and all their cousins to come take your job. And it's going to start off with IT. Yeah. So it starts with IT. But you better believe it's going to spread to all the rest of them. So, for one, all call centers, they already have all the call centers on lock. So Patel and them already got all call centers on lock already. So you already missed out on the call center jobs. Okay, you didn't really care about them. Fine, low-level jobs, cool. All right. Now Patel them are getting the IT jobs. Something you went to school for. Something you went got a trade for. Okay. But next, well, I'm not even going to say next, because now also Patel and them, they got the accounting jobs too. Accounting jobs are already being outsourced to India. You want to know why? I'm in accounting. I work at a firm. Firms outsource their accounting to India. So it's already happening. So it's not just IT you have to worry about, bub. You conservatives have no fucking idea what you have unleashed. It will not just be IT jobs that they take. That is just the beginning. The beginning has already, as a matter of fact, the beginning is already here. So you all just really exacerbated it. You just poured gasoline on the fire. And now your own fucking people, your own conservatives, Christopher Rufo, your own conservative influencers. Oh man, the influencers got y'all fucked up, man. Man, these influencers and these politicians, listen, they on different platforms than y'all, man. They in different tax brackets than y'all. They do not live like y'all. They cannot relate to y'all. Chris Rufo told y'all ass, go to Chipotle. That man said, go take your ass to fast food. Go flip some damn burgers. Go roll some burritos. And then do all the mental gymnastics to try to justify what he said. No, you said what you said. Told you to take y'all ass and go roll some burritos with Juan. Go flip some burgers with Tyrone. Go over there and get them black jobs is what he said to y'all ass. And boy, when I tell you, the irony is so fucking sweet. Listen, this irony is so sweet that only my ancestors can really grasp and enjoy how sweet this irony is. That white conservatives are feeling pushed out and feeling second class in their own country. Like, when I tell you that is an irony that only the ancestors can enjoy, that the descendants of their masters are now getting a taste of what it was like for them and what it is like for the descendants of them. It's sweet. It's sweet, man. Oh, man, it is so sweet. I cannot lie. Oh, it is. I cannot lie, man, because, like, everything. And it's only sweet to those particular conservatives who feel like, again, your ideology is the only way. But it's so sweet. Oh, my God. That you all are saying the exact same things blacks have said for years and years and years. And oh my God. And to see that is just, oh wow. Just like now how, or at least during the Biden administration, you all were just talking about, and during the Obama administration, about, how the government was so oppressive. Oh, how the government is politicized and the legal system politicized. It's been like that for us. We've been telling you that. Why are you screaming at us to get a job and pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps? While you conservative, so-called fiscally responsible motherfuckers are subsidizing the whole fucking country over there. But to hear you all say the same exact things, have the same exact arguments against the H-1B visas that we've had for years and years and years and years, that same sentiment, my God, it's sweet to see it. I'm sorry. It is. It's sweet to see it because you all deserve it. This is what you all asked for, and I will continue to say it. You all fucking deserve everything Trump brings and give y'all. My God, y'all deserve it. Everything Elon got coming, everything Vivek got coming. You deserve it. You deserve Patel pushing you out of your job that you went to college and worked hard for. You got in debt for. You went to college for this shit. You got in debt for this shit. Patel is about to get your job for one, and he's going to receive the training and get paid to receive the training while he's on the job. While you had to go to college and pay, or your mom had to pay, or your dad had to pay, or your trust fund had to pay. Because most of y'all have trust funds. Y'all do. Some of y'all don't, but the most of y'all have trust funds. Most of y'all have property from great-granddaddy that's passed down in the trust. From great-granddaddy to granddaddy, from granddaddy to daddy, from daddy to you. So you still got granddaddy's trust that's being passed on down. So, y'all paid for your education. You went and got your degree at your alma mater, at your mom's alma mater. You didn't use the financial aid. You didn't go the poor person route. You paid out of pocket because you're such a, fiscally responsible and, financial guru. But now that same job you paid for, Patel is about to get your job before he gets the education. And he will get paid to receive the same education you received while he's already on the job. All because you voted with your hate, for the most part. Because you have no valid argument to the contrary. Because look at how you were duped on the so-called important issues that you say were so important to you. Yeah. Ooh, man. Oh shit, guys. You know, I jokers on my left, clowns on my right. You know, stuck in the middle with them. Stuck in the middle with them. So all we can do as middle ground people is just try to bring as much awareness as we can, man. You know, to this. I mean, not to really wake them up, but I don't know. I really don't know. Like all we can do is just hope for the best because we're fucked. We are completely fucked as a country. As long as we have the unit party, the Demo Publicans, that's what I call them, because they're all the same. The Democrat Republicans, the Demo Publicans. It's a unit party. They're all the same. And the fact that people can't see that is why we're crashing, why we're nosediving. Because they're too busy fighting over issues that have nothing to do with fixing the country. So we continue to nosedive down because nobody has the common sense to tell those two motherfuckers to shut the fuck up, get out the way, let us come in here and do what actually needs to be done. Let's pass the laws that actually need to be passed to get this country where it needs to be, man. Because it could be. Most definitely could be. There's no reason for us to be where we are. There's no reason for prices to be where they are. And that's the biggest lie in history ever told, that prices have to increase the way they do. No, it does not. It does not. It does not. But I gotta go, guys. You know, I'll be back on. You know, because I'm pretty sure they have another hearing tomorrow. So you know, I'll probably be back on tomorrow. But you know, guys, it's fucked up out there, man. Like we are completely fucked. As long as we allow these liberals and these conservative nuts to run our country, oh my God, we gotta get rid of these left and right nuts, man. These extremists, these people are the same, and they will destroy us. They have destroyed our country, and they are continuing to do so under the guise of trying to save it, which is the biggest oxymoron in fucking life. How in the fuck are you trying to save our country and you're not addressing any issue of substance that affects everybody? Can't stress it enough. Not issues that just affect your political side of the aisle and people who subscribe to that shit. Those are the only decisions that are made, are decisions based off of the bitching and moaning of either particular side of the political aisle. When the Democrats bitch and moan about shit, the liberals bitch and moan about shit, that's all the Democrats do is go and pass laws to appease their bitching and moaning. When the conservatives bitch and moan about shit, that's all the Republicans do is go pass laws to appease their moaning. Nobody passes any laws, makes any policy, does anything of substantial help to the middle class or to the people in the middle. Not the left fucktards or the right fucktards, but the people in the middle who don't give a shit about that. Who live everyday life not caring what the fuck letter you have in front of your name if it's not the letter of your first name. People who don't give a fuck where people put their dicks at. You know, within the realms of adults consenting, of course. But come on, man. Like, you know, the focus on all this trans shit and all this homosexual shit, you know, y'all want to fuck with the gays and shit. Like, everybody do fucked up shit, man. It's more pedophiles heterosexually than there probably ever will be homosexually. Oh my God. Like, come on. That's not an important issue. Pedophile is pedophile. Gays are not more prone to pedophilery. I know it's probably not a word, but whatever, they're not known to, they're not more prone to being pedophiles than heterosexual people. I'm almost positive pedophiles proliferate heterosexuality way more than they do homosexuality. But to focus on them, to have so much focus on fucking trans and who's reading the book to a fucking child, you don't want a fucking drag queen reading the book to your child, don't take them to the fucking school. Y'all advocating for school choice, conservatives. You advocate for school choice, change the fucking school. That's not an important issue. That's not enough of an issue for you to be put in the forefront of a political platform when we have insurance companies stealing money for over 60 years and leaving people high and dry. Drag queens reading books to kids is not big of an issue as not being able to increase your net worth from buying a house. Drag queens reading books to children have nothing to do with a house in itself not being an appreciable asset anymore for the most part. Because with just paying your mortgage, which is your principal and your interest, you will never, ever sell your house for the amount you paid in your mortgage should you pay your whole mortgage. Never will you do that. Never. And that should be a fucking crime. There's no way buying a house should not be a real asset to me. It should not be a liability. Buying a house should not be a liability. It should be an asset that appreciates. It's historically one of the only assets that appreciates with any type of value of significance. And now you're telling me that the only one thing in this fucking life that actually does appreciate now does not. Because I would never be able to sell my house for the price of my mortgage, the price that I paid in mortgage, because my mortgage is double the asking price because of interest. Interest. No. The American dream is dead, and everybody helped kill it. And just to be honest, mainly conservatives with their hypocrisy. And I only say conservatives because they swear by the book on fiscal conservation, on fiscal responsibility, but are the main purveyors of the lack of fiscal responsibility, especially when it comes to things that they care about and that only affect them and the top 1% of them that are affiliated with said department. But anyway, I gotta go, guys. I gotta get up in the morning early and go to work. But like I said, I'll be back, and it'll be more bullshit to discuss because it's constant. It's constant. It'll be another fucking bullshit ass hearing tomorrow. And we'll go through the same song and dance. We'll go through the same dog and pony show. We'll see the same fucking questions of Democrats and Republicans fighting with each other through the fucking interviewees, while we, the people in the middle who are trying to learn something, cannot learn anything of substantial value about this potential candidate and their actions and behaviors and what they would do in the critical moments and situations and things that have to do with their position. It's crazy. But anyway, thanks for all who tuned in. I don't see any replies or chats, so I don't know if anybody chatted or not. I'm not even sure how to work this shit too good, but I'll see you guys next time, which should be tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Oh, I close this shit. Okay.